So while it may be undemanding viewing, there'll be no complaints from me on that score. The Boat That Rocked is exactly what I suspect Richard Curtis hoped and intended it would be. A hugely enjoyable and touching feel-good movie. And now one of the smoothest links you'll ever witness on this programme as we move seamlessly from one set of pirates to another. But unlike Richard Curtis's lovable rum bunch, the people behind film piracy are no laughing matter. Sales of illegal DVDs not only threaten the future of the movie business, but, as recent research has confirmed, fund organised crime and violence around the world. As the movie industry and governments try to grapple with the problem and the rising tide of online copyright theft, Film 2009 went to find out more.
It's the single biggest threat facing the British film industry. It's kind of that simple.
The estimate is that the industry loses about £500 million a year from copyright theft.
Film piracy is big business. Recent research suggests the profit margins are higher than drug dealing, and it's on the increase.
Close to 25% of the population, one way or another, participating in it. And if it's not brought under control, it may well kill off the film industry.
There's two sides to film piracy. One is downloading from the internet, and the latest figures are talking about millions and millions and millions of downloads across the country. On the other side, it's the DVDs that are sold on the streets. We don't know how many are out there, but last year we seized about 3.5 million DVDs.
But how do popular films like this actually make it into the hands of the pirates in the first place?
The source material in the vast majority of cases is a camcord from the cinema screen. And that would normally take place on the first day of release somewhere. It might not actually be in the UK, it could be in Canada or Australia or America. That camcord will be released on the streets of Chicago and London and Paris, probably within 24 hours.
One battle faced by the industry is convincing the public that copyright theft isn't a victimless crime, or one which only affects people who won't miss the money.
I think people do think it's victimless because I don't think they see the big picture. And the big picture is the damage that is happening down the line.
And it's the impact of piracy on those who work in the industry that cinema audiences of Quantum of Solace were confronted with in an ad shown before the film and voiced by Daniel Craig.
Tens of thousands of people rely each year on the movie business for their livelihoods. So let them get on with living. Don't let piracy destroy their jobs. Please don't record this.
Everyone who downloads a film or buys a pirated DVD is harming the British filmmaking industry. Those people who are working behind films won't get paid, won't have jobs, and therefore the really good films the British film industry are so good at making, they just won't get made.
But while it may jeopardise the jobs of people who work in every sector of the film and home entertainment industries, a recent report by a leading US research organisation claims piracy's social consequences go much further than that.
Most people think that buying a pirated DVD is certainly a crime, but I think they think of it mostly as a soft or white crime. Once people realize or take the point that buying a DVD may be involving them with a criminal organization, and they can't even rule out some proceeds from that might go to fund terror, they think again.
However, it's not terrorism, but the rise in unauthorised downloading that's the focus of current anti-piracy campaigns.
He's a knock-off Nigel, knock-off Nigel, knock-off Nigel downloads knock-off films.
And industry insiders agree the fight against copyright theft will be won or lost on the battlefield of cyberspace.
Piracy threat, I mean, broadly is moving online and away from guys selling DVDs off blankets, although that's still a very serious issue. In the long term, though, it's going to be about online piracy. For people who persistently go online and file sharing and downloading pirated copies of films, there needs to be some sort of legislation that says if you do that, then you're going to get caught and you're going to get punished. And that's something that the industry is very heavily focused on at the moment, and it's lobbying the government very hard about.
Consider yourself warned. But might the internet also provide part of the answer, providing audiences with legal alternatives to pirated content?
The film industry's got to be in the business of making sure that films are legally available online. And there are some sort of quite big strides that are being made there.
There are already legal ways of seeing and watching films over the internet, and a good site to go to is findanyfilm.com. If you pick out a film, title you want to watch, it will tell you where you can find it legally.
So the legal alternatives are out there, and many in the film industry think it can't come too soon.
We're just approaching the tipping point on piracy. The combination of the industry doing what it needs to do, in terms of doing the messaging, doing the advertising, and changing the way it operates to allow people to download stuff in their homes easily, coupled with the government putting in some backstop legislation to make it clear to people that this is wrong. If we get all that right over the next few years, I think we're in a great place. If we get it wrong, the film industry is in real trouble.
The rise of piracy is just one of the reasons why Jeffrey Katzenberg, head honcho of DreamWorks Animation, is so passionate about 3D. This new and improved technology offers cinema goers a unique theatrical experience that's currently impossible to replicate in the home. Out this week, Monsters vs. Aliens is the first of his studio's films to be entirely developed and produced in 3 dimensions.